Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So today I'm going to talk about Dartington Decanters. I don't have many, so this is not going to be a massive long film. I'm going to show you some of what's also in my book that I have on Dartington glass. And I'm also going to show you something that's distinctive about Dartington Decanters that will help you pick them out even if you don't know all the shapes. So with that said, I will push on, I will show you the decanters I have, and then I will show you references with them, and I will show you the distinctive thing. Okay, so here we go. So these are the first two I'm going to show you. They've got a reference number called FT15, and they're simply called ship's decanter. And yeah, so I've got two colours here. This is clear, this is midnight. Yeah, so I think you've seen the clear one already in my ship's decanter video, and yeah, they're very modern. You know, Dartington were running, so the book I have is 1969 to 1987, and yeah, 67 is when they started, so this design is from that time. And yeah, so all of their stuff is modern. In fact, they were gearing up, as most of the other glass houses in the UK were gearing down, so to speak, and more, at least, you know, 10, 15 years away from their final breath. Anyway, but you can see they were going with the modern styles, departing from everyone else that was doing things at that time. So the book I'm looking at here is Dartington Glass, the First 20 Years by Linda and Stuart Smithson. And yeah, so this is the first one I was showing you. This is a really nice book if you're going to be out looking for Dartington glass, because they have a picture of everything, every model that they made. So all of these FT numbers, you can literally work your way through them, and there's a photo of all of them. So in a way, for a collector of Dartington, this is a perfect book, because if you're looking for things, you can find them in here. So yeah, so this is the first one, and it's telling you midnight in clear, midnight, and a few found in Kingfisher. After I did my last video on ship's decanters, someone did tell me they had a Kingfisher one, and yeah, it's pretty rare, I think. This one is called the FT167, the Glen decanter. Something I should show you. They all have a ponton mark. I mean, this one's a bit ropey on the inside, but you can see nicely ponton mark. They all have a nice polished ponton mark like this, and you can see it's got like a blown into a mould. It's giving it a texture, and it is quite a chunky thing. And this one's from 1974. So all of these are designed by Frank Thrower. That's why all the design names start with FT. Yeah, so this is the next one. I'll show you it in the book now. I thought, on second thoughts, I'm going to show you something else that's not to be mistaken, or the other way around is actually don't mistake this for this. So this is a Whitefriars decanter. It's a what's the number, pattern number? It's a 1460, and yeah, if I put the light on this, look at the texture there. Yep, and look at the texture on that. It's very similar, and also I was showing you the ponton mark. Yeah, look at that ponton mark there too. As I said, this is designed by Harry Powell in 1908, and this is a much more valuable decanter. So yeah, don't buy this thinking it's the, well, if someone's trying to sell you this one as this one and charging that kind of price, or yeah, so I mean, something like this, you should be able to pick this up for under £20. Something like this should be north of £50, depending on who's trying to sell it to you. But yeah, completely different beasts. Look how thick the base of that is. compared to that. I mean, they're both fairly heavy, because that is lead. They're both lead glass, but this is a much finer thing, and the stopper's hollow. Yeah, whereas this is a solid ball. So there you go. So this is something you need to watch out for. That I wouldn't say it'd catch you out. Yeah, just don't let someone try to sell one of those as white fries, because you're being done. So here we are on 1974 in the book, and yeah, I think this is the one I have. I think it's shaped more like this. It's difficult to tell because that one's not turned round. I'm looking, and yeah, if they were showing them both the same way around, but they're not doing that, so I think it's this one, and I don't know which one's rarer. I think I've seen more of these, so if you're trying to get them on, I think this is probably going to be cheaper, and also it's smaller. This is slightly bigger capacity. So I don't know what these little things here. It's called a Glen, but I don't know why they put showstoppers in, because they've got little things on most of the things you see, like coming to the aid of the party. This sea shall not have them. I don't know what all this means, but anyway, that is the one, and they've got a bit of booze in that one. And the other thing I want to tell you is that there are other things that they did with this same texturing. So yeah, it is. Other people did use this, but yeah, it is an indication. And the thing that I'm going to show you later will help you pick out these if you see Dartington ones. So this is the FT188 Director's Decanter, it's called, from 1975. And yeah, this is a bit of a beast. It's quite heavy. Look at the base. It's and yeah, very chunky, nice. Optically, look how actually from there it looks bigger than it does there. Bit of an optical illusion with a bubble. Yeah, this is quite nice. And actually, I'll bring in something else with this one as well. So give me a second. So what I've brought in is a Stromberg's Heighton S19, and look at this. It's got a similar look to it. You see how heavy that is, and the stopper is like the stopper from the ship's decanters, shape-wise. So yeah, so this is something that you might also try and mistake as a Dartington decanter, because it's got that kind of look about it. But this is from the 1930s, so it's a much older decanter. So this is, actually, I think this is heavier. Yeah, this is heavier. So yeah, it's one of those things that you've got to watch out for. And yeah, and this is, again, it's 1975. They made a lot of them, whereas this is from the 1930s. Not many were imported into the UK. You won't see many of these. So yeah, and conversely, yeah, the price is probably going to be £50 plus for one of these, compared to the under £20 for that. So those are things you need to watch out for. Yeah, go for this one every time. Sorry about that, Dartington, but it's the rarity means a lot, and it's Scandinavian. So here we are with the Director's Decanter, and as you can see, and this is only produced in clear, and I think the other one was only produced in clear, the FT188 from 1975. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to show you what I think is the most valuable Dartington decanter, because obviously that's the one that you really want to find. So this is the one you want to find. It's the FT4, which means that it's the fourth design. Okay, so it's right at the beginning of the company starting. It does look like some of the Scandinavian ones. And yeah, if you see a Scandinavian one this shape, go for it too, because this is a very desirable shape. The colour is a good colour here, produced in clear, Midnight and Kingfisher. I think the Kingfisher is the best one. I did try to win one on eBay once, and got well and truly trounced. I didn't realise how sought after it was, and it just really got away from me. So yeah, this is the one to get. Well, I don't know how much you should be paying for them, but definitely well over £50, maybe a lot more. I don't know. I'm not a dealer. I just know that there was one that I went for, and it just took off and got away from me, and it was in this colour as well. So one of those fish that got away. So I think you're going to quickly realise where I'm going with this. So let me show you something. This stopper is a Thomas Webb one. This one is a John Walsh. This one is Webb Corbett. This one is Stuart Crystal. This one is Edinburgh and Leith. This one is Whitefriars. These are all 20th century ones, okay? So over slightly different periods, but all 20th century. And then these ones are the four Dartington ones I showed you. Look at them. They tend to be shorter, not always that much shorter, but a little bit shorter, and completely matte. Yeah, and the texture of them, it has a specific texture, especially in the bottom. I'm not sure anybody else does it quite like this, and usually you can see there's like these striations. Pick up another one, have another look. Yeah, you can see where I'm going. I mean, look, here's a stopper peg that's similar. Yeah, very different, all of them, you know. I mean, the English ones tend to have bevel, straight polished sides, beveled edges. Look, all of them got that look, even if the bevel's quite small. But yeah, these are all very different, you know. I mean, I'm a nerdy. I can tell you features that on other stopper pegs that are different again, but yeah, this is something that's very, very distinctly, and I'm going to tell you, not all Dartington ones are polished like that, but a lot of them are like this. And if you see this, you're almost definitely looking at a Dartington glass stopper. So yeah, it's just one of those peculiarities of how they manufacture them. That's it. For a bit more clarity on this subject, I'm going to slip back in time and show you some much older stoppers. So when they were not clear and frosted like this, this is, let's see if I can get that to focus. Focus your thing. There you go. You can see this is from about 1800. This is a 18th century one. Yeah. This one's post 1800. Yep. And then, yeah, so I'm talking about modern decanters where, come on, focus your monkey. There you go. Look at, again, you can look at it and go, yeah, this is modern. Pick this one up and see if I can get a focus on this one. Focus. There we go. Yeah, this is a thing that's 200 years old, and you can see, yeah, it is a thing that's 200 years old, and you're really looking for something that's bright and shiny. Look at even the colour of them. Look how bright and shiny that is compared to these. So yeah, just so your awareness, you will see stoppers with frosted pegs, but they're usually not as nicely made as this one. They won't fit in exactly. And on the continent they were making ones with frosted pegs as well, but again, although they were making later than this, they're still of this kind of quality. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that point. I was just about to wrap up, and then I realised, oh, Miller's 20th Century Glass by Andy McConnell has a section on Dartington, and it has prices. So yeah, he's got a bunch of decanters here. These are that one you've seen already. The one I have is similar to this one. There's this one too. I think there's an Orifice one that's a bit like this. Yeah, and he's saying £10. They're usually a bit more than that now, because this book is from about like 2001 or 2002 or something like that. So yeah, so they are a little bit more than what he's saying here. And also things like the condition, does it still have the label on it, etc., etc. That makes a difference. These are things, when this book was made, might have been still in production or barely out of production. So yeah, that's why he's got £10. They're a bit further down the route now. If you think when this book was made, yeah, this type was only 25 years old. Now it's 45 years old. So yeah, that feels different, doesn't it? That feels more vintage. So I've turned over the page, and yeah, here's the FT4 from 1967. And as I was saying earlier, when this book was written, this was 35 years old, but it's now 55 years old. It's got £100. Yeah, I did lose the one the only one I've ever seen on eBay. It's a nice looking decanter, but it did get away. So, but anyway, there it is. So there you go. So with regard to the stopper pegs, I don't know why they did them like that. It's, you know, a bit unusual. You know, I'm looking at stuff all the time. So to me, it's kind of like, oh, look at that. That's different. That's different. I'm not seeing anybody else do it like that. So to me, it's obvious, because I'm a nerdy person. I'm looking at those little details, trying to pick up on why people do things different. I'm just that way inclined. So yeah, I love design, and I love the manufacturing processes and all that stuff, and how it all gels together. But anyway, I don't know why they do it like that. But it is a distinctive thing that you can use to help you identify them. So yeah. So with that said, the names of the books will be in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed this. So please like and subscribe. Thank you. Good night.